There we go. Welcome to the July team heading to Kenya. All very exciting. We are excited for you. This is going to be a trip of a lifetime. So my name is Millie, and together with Zoe, who you will have met online a million squillion times, well, not online, but through email, we have put this trip together with Oceans Alive, our friends in Kenya. So the purpose of today is to get you organized. So it's interactive. Ask, stick your hand up, catch my attention as I go whiffling on. So the intention is that by the end of this little Zoom, you feel organized and you know what to expect. Okay, so we are going to cover, just so you are prepped, your itinerary, your flights, the visa, phones, Wi-Fi, plugs, adapters, kits, health and safety, safari. Okay, so starting off with your flights. Now, thankfully, you are all together on the Air Ethiopia flight. Is that correct, actually, Zoe? Have I actually made that up? You are all brilliant on the Air Ethiopia flight. Now, top tips with Air Ethiopia. Okay, you might be thinking, really, why have they, made us go on this airline? They're brilliant, okay? But they can get a little cramped, those aeroplanes. So you want minimum stuff on the airplane. Just take your bag, your neck, and you need an adapter for the headphones, okay? You need the old-fashioned headphones to plug in. Don't think you can do anything fancy on the airplane with Air Ethiopia. You can't. When you get to Addis, top tip for you, okay? When you get to Addis, it is right fast, shoes on, shoes off, through passport controls. Upstairs is where all the cafes are. Cafes, kind of little shops and everything. Downstairs, if you follow, I'm just looking the signs downstairs to the Skyline Hotel. Wait, I had it written down. The Skyline Hotel, okay, which is where the small internal flights are. Skylight Hotel, even. You will find a much more peaceful zone with those loads of those kind of flatbeds where you can kind of rest up and just chili beans. Okay, be mindful at Air Ethiopia of your Wi-Fi. So definitely switch off your Wi-Fi before you get into Addis. I didn't last time I did it and got absolutely nailed for about 1 minute, in their Wi-Fi. So just switch it off. And then when you go to a cafe, you can then join their Wi-Fi, okay? Or the airport Wi-Fi. But don't do roaming is what I'm saying. Okay, so at the airport UK, London, check yourself in and go through to the other side, okay? And then meet everybody on the other side. Zoe, I know, has set up a WhatsApp group, so just ask away on that where you all are and then kind of congregate in some cafe, okay? When you get to Mombasa, it's going to be hot and very sweaty, and it is a long old process. It's just imagine arriving into a big shed. That is what you're arriving at Mombasa. It is nothing fancy. In fact, there's nothing fancy to it whatsoever, apart from, all you're going to get there are very long queues. So just be patient. When you come out, when you've collected your bags and you come out, that is where you will meet our guide, okay? And the minibus to take you to camp. You've got that ride on the outskirts of Mombasa is going to take about 2 hours. So make sure your water bottle, there will be water on the bus, but make sure your water bottle is filled up on the airplane before you get off. Okay, if you don't remember, it doesn't matter. It's just a good top tip, okay? Your flight, has everybody got their visa? Got it? Because you're not going anywhere without it, okay? So if you get into for those that aren't on here today and haven't got it and get into a pickle, call us, okay? Because it is essential. Yeah, Tara, Zoe's saying we need to know that you've got your visa.
And flights and everything.
And flights and everything else, okay? So there are 10 of you going on this trip, and which is a fantastic number. So you won't be, you'll have lots of space in the camp, which is called Popes, which is going to be your base for the whole of the 4 weeks. Now, Popes used to be a hotel. We have taken it over since COVID. It does what it says on the tin. It's just perfect. You've got little rooms, kind of 2 to 3 to a room. Some are big, you know, front row, so you've got a lovely morning, you know, view of the sea. Some are second row. Now, what often happens is that those that are on row 2 might want to change with those on row, you know, beachside, you know, midway through. So you might want to do that, or you might just be chilled and not care. But everything is going to happen here. You're going to have all your food is organized here. You've got the gorgeous dolphin, who is the kind of manager of the whole place. She will look after you. Delicious food. There's masses of staff kind of wandering around, making sure that this experience is groovy. Now, Joseph, Tilda, and a few of the guides, they will be with you every day, getting you to your project. So if you've got 4 weeks that you're going to be there, within each week, you are going to be doing a mix of marine conservation and community work. Okay, so the marine conservation, the actual projects that you are doing, is divided into 3 things. The first is actually being in the water, upside down, with your snorkel and mask, cleaning the coral gardening, and moving small bits of coral to the larger gardens. It's fascinating what you're going to see. The other parts of coral conservation is actually making the plugs, tiny little plugs like this size, and attaching live but broken off pieces of coral, which then you take out and put into the coral garden, which then grow. Honestly, it's genius what they do. The third bit is actually making coral constructions, okay, out of cement, out of wires, out of random stuff, which then gets submerged into the sea, which you then attach the coral bits on to create a new reef. So it is genius. Oceans Alive are genius in themselves. They are a pioneering NGO who have set up, yes, there's a lot of people around the world that are setting up new reef structures, which you will see. But why they are pioneering is that they have engaged the community to jump on board with all the changes that are required. So you're going to be doing that, but at the same time, you're helping the community find alternative methods of food, finding food and an income. Because traditionally, why the reefs are getting bashed about and ruined is because they're overfished, okay, too many tourists, too many motorboats. So they have created a conservation area, which is a no fishing zone for 6 months. Okay, but what are those fishermen going to do? You know, they're going to, they've got to survive off fish. But so that's where Oceans Alive are really pioneering, is that they have now made these jiko stoves, so that they're like miniature argas. If you're familiar with what a kind of arga looks like, you're going to be making those inside people's houses, where they can now fry their food, and that means that the fish that they are allowed to catch and eat has got a longer shelf life. Okay, simple things like that. You're also going to be doing vertical gardening, so helping them grow peppers and other fruit and vegetables in their tiny dust-stricken gardens, so they can sell those at the market and make an income. So you will see, while you are there, how this NGO are making change positively for the ocean and for the communities that the ocean once supported. So it is a really fascinating place, run by incredibly fun, dynamic people who you're all going to love. And Prince Charles, actually, what am I saying? King Charles, he was there last year, giving it his seal of approval. So it really is a special project that you're going to be part of. You will love it. Okay, so no 2 days are going to be the same. Okay, so every week you're going to have a mix of the marine and the community. And with the community, what I think is so special is that you are going right inside and being welcomed into community life, which is something a simple tourist really does not get access to. And you are really welcomed and you are loved and become part of the scene. The other thing which I highly recommend you doing, I know it's your day off on a Saturday, Sunday, where you can really chill your beans, we'll come to that, but you must go to a church service, the local church service on a Sunday. You will love it. Okay, it does go on for hours, but it's so energetic and so much fun. And all the community members are there. So I would probably do that at kind of end of your 2 weeks when you've been part of the community, and then you'll be really welcomed in. Really good, really good. Okay, so that is, so Monday to Friday, you're going to be busy, kind of breakfast, lunch, and supper in the camp, but in the mornings and in the afternoons, you are out and about. Okay, but in the camp at Pope's, there's a lovely pool. You're right on the beach. It's really quite special of where your location is. At the weekends, now you are free at the weekends to chill your beans and do whatever you want. So they will give you some guidance when you're there of what the things to do. Right up close and personal, you've got Vapingo, which you will probably, they do kind of 2-for-1 pizzas on a kind of Wednesday night. It's a real shishi club, about 10-15 minutes away. It's really, really nice to go there and have a sundowner. There's a dam there, you can go and chill. They've got a bit of wildlife there and enjoy the 2-for-1 pizzas. But you know, people could go and hang out there, or you could go to Kilifi at the weekends, and which is about half-hour taxi ride. Some people, you can kite surf there if the wind's up. There's a really cool bar called Salties. Really fun, really fun. So all those kind of options are there, or you can just hang out and enjoy the sea. There's a great beach bar, literally just 5 minutes away from Pope's, which has got, it's got everything that you want. It's got delicious food, beers. It's got a great volleyball that everybody, all the community, you'll see that it's a real community that come of all shapes and sizes that are there. So it's good fun. Okay, so that is the itinerary. Any questions on the kind of the theme kind of activities? It's very hard for me to say, Monday you're going to be doing this, Tuesday you're going to be doing that, because it just rolls. So let me just look at my list. Let's go into the kind of the nitty-gritty. We touched on the visas. Phones, okay. In Pope's, there is Wi-Fi, okay, but it is not sufficiently fast enough to start downloading movies. Okay, it's good enough for WhatsApp, it's good enough for a little bit of Instagram, but that's your limit. Okay, so if you want to kind of, if you think actually my downtime is watching kind of Game of Thrones or the new one that's just come out, the second series, download it before you go. Okay, or alternatively, what are we doing encouraging you to be watching telly when you're out there? You're not going to be watching telly. You're going to be reading a book, mindful stuff, enjoying, sitting on the beach. So I would take out 2 phones. I would take out your all swinging and dancing phone, which you use all the time, and I would be taking out a backup phone. Reason being, so many people seem to drop their phone into the sea. I don't know why they do that, but it seems to be very common occurrence. So either buy yourself a waterproof cover for your telephone, or just take up a little back one. It's really safe out there, and you're not, you know, the only time you're kind of going out and about where you've got to be mindful of your bags is if you were at Kilifi and you were in Salties and you're having a few drinks and you put your bag down, that's when things can go missing. But in Pope's, in Vapingo itself, it's really, really safe. Money. Now, the Kenya shilling is the local currency. And it is, you can get it here beforehand, but it's probably easier just to get it when you are there. Also, when you're there, the guides will help you set up their kind of a mobile app, which everyone pays for everything. Will get linked to your bank account, and it's really, really easy to organize. I'm not going to do it now, but it's called M-Pesa, and that is how everybody pays for everything, literally, including if you wanted to stop off and buy some samosas off the side of the road, you would pay for it by M-Pesa or local Kenyan shillings. So you've got a choice, but I would get probably about 50 quid's worth of local Kenyan shillings out at the airport on arrival. Okay. Or it doesn't matter if you don't and the machine's broken, because the guides will take you to Vipingo to the local ATM. But that's what you need. Okay. You won't really be spending much. At Pope's, there's going to be a little shop where we sell, at cost. They kind of buy beers and fizzy drinks and things, snacks, crisps, Oreos, whatever is required. And they do a shop once a week. So they'll do a pre-shop before you arrive and set up with the basics. And then then they'll start asking, what do you want? What do you want? What's your favorite thing? And then you just buy it there, sign a chitty and pay at the end of your trip. Okay. Any questions on money? M-Pesa, Kenyan shillings, get at the airport, or an ATM local to Pope's. Plugs, okay, for plugging in, it's UK-based plugs. So very, very simple. You don't need any snazzy adapters. Washing clothes, kit, what are you going to take? Everything on that kit list is there for a reason. Okay, so do not just ignore it. It is really, really important to take the snorkel, the mask, and the reef shoes and the UV vest. Okay, because you are going to be upside down, back to the sun for about a couple of hours at a time. So that UV vest is absolutely vital, and the little reef shoes, because you don't want to tread on any nasties as you're walking out to the coral gardens. Okay, hat, sunglasses, water bottles, little day rucksack to carry all your paraphernalia from A to B. Okay, these are absolutely critical. But also in July, it's my favorite time of year because it is not as oppressively hot as it is in January, February, March. So if the wind picks up in the evenings, you might want to have a long shirt and long trousers. I'm not talking jeans, I'm talking thin, like thin, but just to, because the wind chill can bring the temperature down. So nice, you'll sleep like a log, but I just want you to be prepared. Okay. Any questions on the kit? Washing, the team at Pope's will do all your washing. I just ask that at the end, you give them a little tip. And what we're talking about, there's just going to be a tips box. What we're talking about is if you popped in the equivalent of £20 into that, which then gets spread to all the staff. And it's the staff that, like Dolphin, who's going to be doing all your cooking and your ironing and your washing and everything. She is, you want to be nice to her. She will be helping. Okay. Safari. Okay, so the safari is awesome, and but it's completely optional, because I know that the cost of Kenya is goes up and up and up and up all the time, but it is really special. So we're going to get Chris in, who is our safari guide, right at the beginning to talk to you about the safari options. Now, it changes at all times of year depending on where the elephants are. You are about a 3-hour drive from Tsavo National Park, which is famous for its elephants. But you've got Tsavo East and Tsavo West, so we don't know where they are at this time of year. It all depends on the rainfall, etc., etc. So he is best placed. He will come to Pope's, talk to you about the safari options, where he thinks the game is right now, and therefore where he thinks you should go. But it will be over at probably the 3rd weekend. And it's best to go for 2 nights minimum, but it's optimum, 2 to 3 nights. But I don't want anybody to think, I have to do this. But if you can do it, I highly recommend it, because Chris is a fantastic, fantastic guide. He brings the small things to life, and you'll suddenly appreciate it's not just about the big elephants and the, you know, the kind of angry lions. It's about the little creatures like the dung beetle, who are really, really important in the whole ecosystem. So he really does bring to life. My kids who are your age absolutely love him. So that is it. The last thing that I want to touch on. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Last thing I want to touch on is health and safety. Okay, it's really important. This is when I can become your kind of teacher of memory, and maybe a mix with your parent. Okay, health and safety. Please, please look after yourselves. Okay, particularly when it comes to a cut, particularly when it comes to a mosquito bite. Okay, it's hot and it's humid, and you're in and out of the water all day, which is just going to, you know, it's open cuts can get easily infected and nasty very, very quickly. So I'm saying, if you get mozzie bites or the simple cut on the reef or whatever it is, you clean it, you put pseudocreme on it, and you keep it dry. Okay, as best as you possibly can, and you do not scratch it. If you think, ooh, it's looking a bit red or a bit moldy, show it to Joseph or one of the guides, and they will, you know, whip you to the chemist to get kind of antibiotic cream or whatever is required from it. Do not sit on nasty cuts, okay? Promise me. The other common thing that people suffer from is dehydration, okay? It is hot and it is humid, and you're possibly not used to working really hard, toiling the earth in the midday sun, okay? So hat, really important, and rehydration. I highly recommend you take some rehydration tablets. You can get them anywhere. You don't need to get those disgusting diorite things. You can get really nice ones called Boost or Vorst or something like that from any supermarket. They come in a round tube. One of those every single day will stop you getting headaches. Key signs of dehydration: a headache, waking up with a kind of fat throat, joint ache, just feeling a bit like you've got the kind of beginnings of a cold. Okay, that is signs of dehydration. And dehydration is really, really serious. So you don't want to get it. So I want you to be literally drinking at minimum, if you've got those litre bottle water bottles, a couple of those, if not 3 or 4 of those every single day. Okay, promise me. Sickness and diarrhea, you won't get sickness and diarrhea from, you know, the kind of the food that we are giving you, because that's all kind of prepared really nicely. But if you go out into the markets, which you do, and you eat street food, that is possibly where you're going to get a dodgy tummy. Just don't do it. If you think those kebabs are looking absolutely fantastic on the barbecue being rustled up, just walk on by, you know, admire them, say they look delicious, but don't eat it, okay? Because it will have its revenge later on. Yeah, exactly. Zoe's just said they never look as good second time round, okay? So don't do it. But things like ice, you know, when you're in the kind of the Pingo Club or the little beach club, you know, the ice, that's all absolutely fine, because that will be made from purified water. What else on the health and safety? Okay, just touching on now the teamwork. Okay, there's 10 of you plus all the staff and all the guides, so it's going to feel like a kind of big family of about 15 to 20 people, which is really, really fun. Okay, you are going to have a few beers in the evening, but I just want you to be mindful of everybody else. We are giving you this experience, you know, it is being curated to give you elements of challenge, immense culture, and, you know, the chance to contribute. But it's up to you guys to make the most of it. And the fun comes from the team spirit, working together, looking after each other. You're all going to be out of your comfort zone in the first few days. You're all going to be thinking, holy smoke, what am I doing? I don't know anyone. I don't know where anything is. You know, it is nerve-wracking. And I know that, and I'm 50 odd, and I take the midlife trips, and we feel exactly the same way the first few days. So that is where it's been really important to reach out to each and every one of you. You don't know each other, bring everyone in, and by the end of your 4 weeks, the aim is that you will love each other, okay? Because you've experienced all these weird and wonderful adventures together, okay? So that is our ultimate goal. At the end, when I send you that form saying, did it surpass your expectations? I want a big high five. Thanks very much. But it's the team that gets you there. Okie dokes. So there we go. I'll take my teacher's hat off now. So any other questions from any of you? Do you feel better equipped? Okay. Do you feel ready for what's coming down the line?
Sorry, just a quick question.
Go.
The rooms have mosquito nets and AC, right?
They don't have AC.
But do they have mosquito nets?
Yes, they do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you don't need AC at this time. Yeah, it is going to be hot, but they've got fans. And also at this time of year, you've got the sea breeze coming on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But just about mosquito management. Okay. The sun goes down, I don't know, any time between 6 and 7, and it goes down super fast. Okay. You want to be showered and dressed for the evening before the sun goes down. Okay. So that means having a shower, putting I would put long sleeve shirt, long trousers, girls, those trousers which you get from a place called a Spiga, they're kind of like really thin trousers, and they've got elasticated cuffs at the leg, bottom of the leg. They're brilliant because mosquitoes can't fly up your legs. They're brilliant. So I wear those every single night when I'm at the coast to stop the mozzies. So I just had a kind of brain just thinking about it. So yeah, so you want to be showered, redressed, mozzie spray on before it goes dark. And you've all got your malaria tablets, haven't you? One top tip about malaria tablets, if you feel weird on them, and you can, okay, just give it a few days just to see if you can not feel discombobulated. But if you notice that your mood's changed or anything is out of sorts, talk to Joseph and Tilda about it, because we've seen this happen before, and we will take a view whether they're working for you. So don't suffer in silence with your malaria tablets. Okay. Right, that really is it from me. Otherwise I can just whiffle on. As you can tell, I love the sound of my own voice. Anyway, so before you go, you've got the WhatsApp chat. Any weird and wonderful questions, bung it on there. We will reply to it during office hours, or as soon as we get it. And then when you're away, any problems, you talk to your guides immediately. They'll kind of sort it out, make sure that you're happy. And we just wish you the most wonderful trip. Have fun. Send my love to Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
I just had one question. You guys were saying reef safe sun cream. I don't know which ones they are.
The what? Nivea. They do reef safe, do they? So we say Nivea and Nivea and Hawaiian Tropics. Who knew? Get them in Sainsbury's. If you type into Amazon reef safe,
yeah,
it pops up. Anyone will do.
So it doesn't say on the packaging, it's just known.
It will say on it, a little picture of coral. It will say on the packaging. The girls are telling me it will have a little picture of coral. That's
nice. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Pleasure. All good, girls? Right, I'm actually going now. I'm closing down. Goodbye.
Bye.